Good morning, guys. About 1:30 in the morning, just getting ready to get started driving here. I've got guys that always ask me, how long do you usually stay out? And that's kind of a loaded question. In reality, I like to try to stay out 2 to 3 weeks. If I've got a load that goes into Florida that takes me home, then I'll go home a little earlier than that. Sometimes it just depends on the situation. Unfortunately, I've been out for 5 weeks this time. As you all know, I had a brake chamber that went out about 3 weeks ago. That kind of put me behind a little bit, and then 2 weeks ago my truck actually started spewing a bunch of coolant, and I think we're getting to the bottom of that. It's at the Swift shop and they're looking at it, and they were straight up with me. They told me they weren't be able to get to it for at least a week. Well, I think they got to it on Monday. I think they've diagnosed what the issue and the problem was, and I'll make a later video on that. I don't think it's going to be that expensive of a fix. Matter of fact, I think the tow bill is going to be more expensive than what the fix is. I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not, but I mentioned, I think on one of the lives, that the tow bill was like $225. Well, that was incorrect, and I just want to make sure I put the right info out there. That was a $225 bill for to have Southern Tire Mart just to come out and tell me they couldn't do anything with it. It was a service charge, and they said they were only going to charge that 1 hour, service charge. But anyway, that's it. But the tow bill came up actually came up last week, and I looked at it, and it was $1,800. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me where $1,800 came into play, because I was quoted $250 an hour for 4 hours. That would have been $1,000. You would think it's simple math. Where would the other $800 go to? Well, doing a little research and calling into Swift's On-Road, which is their emergency service, they did a little research and found out that they quoted me $175 an hour, not $250 an hour. So actually, I got a little bit of a break. The tow bill is only going to cost me about $1,000 to $1,100. They said it was a mistake on their end because of the hour that it was, because it started at like 4 p.m. And then after like 7 or 8, it becomes a later shift type deal, and it goes up to $300 an hour. So what they were doing is they were charging me the $300 an hour rate. But because they quoted me the $175 over the phone, and they'd already been through that, they went ahead and honored that rate, which was a good thing. So I think when it's all said and done, I'm going to be right around the $2,000 mark for the whole, the tow bill, the part, the labor that Swift has into what they're doing. I don't think it's going to be as bad as what I thought it was. Originally thinking, I thought it was going to be, somewhere in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. Boy, was I wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong, but I think the fix is going to be pretty simple. But that's it. Like I said, I've been out quite a few more weeks than what I planned on. I've got a load that's taking me down to West Palm Beach. I won't be there today. It's 730 something miles. It's going to be a day and a half deal, but I will be there early Thursday morning, ready to go for them to unload. And then once they're unloaded, I'll go straight home from there. Everything, honestly, guys, even with me having the breakdowns that I've had, it's been a little costly, don't get me wrong, but really has nothing to do with Swift. It was my truck. I'm still making money. Even though I've been down, I'm still making money. I'm not making what I made, but I'm still bringing home a paycheck. A decent paycheck under the circumstances. Even with the breakdown last week, I still brought home $1,800, I believe, and this week is, I'm trying to think here for a second, it's probably going to be a little bit less. It's going to be like $1,100 to $1,200 a week for this week. But I got other incidentals that I'm waiting to see if show up on my settlement, but it looks like it's going to be $1,100 to $1,200. Now next week will be better, because I should be able to run a little bit. I've still got the loaner truck. Fuel mileage is really good, and that's something else I want to go over here in a second too. I did say that I would go over the fuel surcharge thing, and I kind of want to go over that a little bit. But this 24 International, gets tremendous fuel mileage. It was just like my blue one that I had at SFI. Now granted, my truck doesn't do horrible by any means at all, but the newer the truck, obviously, it's gonna get a better fuel mileage. But anyway, the way the fuel surcharge works out, and I know a lot of guys, talk about different places in their fuel surcharge and not, trashing any companies. A lot of companies say 99-cent fuel and things like that. Well, that's fine and dandy. They're only charging you 99 cents per fuel. But over here at Swift, if you run your truck sensibly, at a decent speed, get good fuel mileage, you should be somewhere between 36 and say 42 cents a mile on your fuel. That being said, I'm somewhere between the 38, 39, maybe 40 with my truck, and to me, I think that's pretty good. I'm still getting, in the high 8s in that truck, and sometimes even in the 9s. But with that being said, so with the fuel surcharge, how this works out, like this coming week, we just got the message earlier today, the fuel surcharge is going to be 40 cents a mile. So with me doing 38, 39, maybe 40 cents, then I'm right at that break-even point with fuel surcharge. So I'm not paying 99 cents for fuel. My fuel surcharge pays for my fuel, and I shouldn't have anything extra. And as fuel prices go up, well, so does the fuel surcharge, and that's when the drivers start really making some money. I remember back in 22 and 23 when the fuel really went up. The fuel surcharge went up to almost 70 cents a gallon. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was up there, and I know a lot of the drivers were really making some really good money, and so was I. I was actually on a dedicated home goods account at that time, where basically I would just run from Atlanta, Georgia down to Miami, Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers, something like that, with a TJ Maxx or a home goods store. That was pretty easy. I wish they still had that, because I would definitely be on that account. And I'd go home 2 or 3 times a week with that account too, especially when I would go to the East Coast, Miami and maybe Orlando, Jacksonville. But that's how the fuel surcharge works. It changes weekly. The government puts out what the average fuel prices are, and there's a formula and a calculation with it. I've honestly never really sat down and figured out that calculation. I know a lot of guys do, but I just look at the message that they send out on Tuesdays and go by that. You can dig a little deeper and do the calculation, figure it out for yourself. I've never been a guy for math, especially when you don't have to. Trying to think what else. A lot of things are going on. I've got the ES Advantage card people that's going to come on the show. It looks like next Thursday, so if you're available, please check that out. 7 o'clock next Thursday. I got those guys coming out. I'm still going to do my live tomorrow night. Like instead of Thursday, I'm going to be doing it on Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern. But yeah, check those out. The next coming weeks, I'll have Michelle come on again, and Austin. I'm also going to bring Austin back from International Used Truck Sales. We always have a good turnout when he comes on, and I'm going to get him back in probably the week after Michelle, or maybe the week before. I don't know. I haven't really got that far, but ES Advantage guys are definitely coming on next Thursday, as long as I'm able to get the show going. Got a lot of things planned, guys. As always, if you're interested in coming to Swift, please use my driver code. It'll be in the description. If you need to call me, I'll also have my phone number in the description. Once again, for all the trolls, yes, I am recruiting. Yes, I am doing that. And that's okay. I mean, you guys can make your comments all you want to. I'm happy over here. It's pretty easy to do things over here. It's pretty easy to make money. The 4 or 5 guys that I brought over in the last couple of weeks, all of them are in the same agreements. Matter of fact, one of them will probably be on the show tomorrow night if y'all have questions for him. It's pretty easy to make money over here, guys. It's not real hard. Now, you're not going to make $1 million bucks. You might, you're not going to make those $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 mile loads and stuff like that, because everything's the same. But it's consecutive, and it's steady, and it's all drop and hook. You don't have to deal with brokers. You don't have to deal with all the BS. Again, it's everybody's choice. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything, but it's really easy to make money over here. But that's pretty much it. When I get all the information on the truck, I'll do a short video on it and put it out and kind of go over stuff. But other than that, everything has been great, guys. Keep up all the good comments. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I've got a lot of plans with a lot of different companies that I want to bring on here in the future. And oh, by the way, just a little disclaimer out there, the ES Advantage guys, I know that I'm not the first guy to bring those guys on. Not taking any credit for bringing those guys on first or anything like that. To my knowledge, I believe Trucker Todd was the first one to bring them on, and I'm not trying to steal anybody's thunder. And I know Charlie and Jeff at Contractors Corner brings them on quite a bit too. Not trying to steal anybody's thunder. All I'm trying to do is put it out there the best that I can, because it is a good product and everybody needs to know about it. Not only that, I'm trying to get all my guys that I brought over to get the card also. So I think in the long run, we're all working towards the same thing. Nobody's trying to compete with anybody, in my opinion, when it comes to that. Because if it's a good product, it needs to be out there. Anyway, guys, anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to call me. I'll have everything in the description. Man, I look like shit tonight. I guess, I don't know. I just got out of the shower, but man, all of a sudden, in the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to look really, really old. I know I should be talking about this on here, but anyway, guys, you guys have a good week, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the live. Have a good one.